Welcome into Between the Lines, Thursday edition of the show. I'm your host, Alec Busse, and I'm actually going to be joined by Tanner Kern a little bit later to break down just this absolutely huge breaking news in Major League Baseball with Anthony Rizzo being traded to the New York Yankees. If you haven't been on Twitter yet, yes, Anthony Rizzo is going to be a New York Yankee come tomorrow, and we're going to talk about Anthony Rizzo to the Yankees. We're going to talk about Joey Gallo to the Yankees. We're going to talk about Max Scherzer. Where the hell is he going? No one really seems to know yet. Reports earlier today that it was kind of done maybe with the San Diego Padres. Doesn't look like it is that way anymore. We're going to talk about Brad Hand going to the Blue Jays. Man, these American League East teams have been really, really active. We're going to talk about the White Sox. They're making moves, shoring up their rosters. They try and make a move to potentially win their first American League pennant since 2005. But before we dive into all of that, I want to remind you guys that you need to subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network. You need to follow us on Twitter. You need to follow us on Instagram. You need to subscribe to us on YouTube, of course. That way you can catch all of these shows and you can listen to all of them, whether you're at work. You can watch them at home while you're doing whatever around the house or your apartment, whatever. You need to subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network, and you need to do it before tomorrow night, because if you think this is going to be an interesting show for the MLB trade deadline, I have better news for you. There is going to be a full reaction to the MLB trade deadline show tomorrow with myself, Tanner Kern, and then some of us other baseball geeks that work for the 2.0 Network and Noob Sports. So let's dive into it. And I'm going to start with Max Scherzer because I'm going to wait for Tanner Kern to join me before we dive into this breaking news with the New York Yankees. So, Mad Max, where's he going? Max Scherzer started today, wasn't able to get the win. He actually struggled. He obviously was coming off of this injury that was kind of bothering him. And I think teams are really concerned about, where's he at health-wise? Is he going to be able to come to our organization and pitch the rest of the year? Well, Mad Max pitches today, and he doesn't get the win, but him pitching today in and of itself is a really big deal for his trade value. It's been rumored that the American League West teams, all three of them at the top, the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Padres, obviously that's not in order. It's currently Giants, Dodgers, Padres, I believe, in order. It's been rumored that the Padres were actually leading, and it's actually been reported, I think, by Ken Rosenthal, maybe some other people out there. There's so many baseball reporters on my timeline right now, that there's actually an agreement in place between the Washington Nationals and the San Diego Padres, and that agreement includes the players and all the different aspects for it. And the thing kind of holding that agreement up is a 5-10 thing for Max Scherzer, and then the Washington Nationals ownership actually has to sign off on the deal as well. So that seems to be holding it up. And while that deal is being held up, it actually appears that other teams are still making offers to see if they can get Max Scherzer to their organization and have them join their starting rotation. Now, I think you look at any of those three teams in the American League West and they get Max Scherzer, and it really helps their case to potentially win a World Series. You asked me today, I'm still picking the Dodgers to win the World Series, and I know we're still a long way away from that. And I'm starting to get a little bit farther. I'm starting to get closer to not just saying like they're going to win the World Series, just because I'm waiting for them to get going, and they just haven't. Cody Bellinger's still hitting below 200, and he's been playing for a couple weeks here. Mookie Betts is on the injury list. Like I'm just waiting for things to get going. It doesn't appear that Trevor Bauer is going to be back anytime soon. And you look at all of these different things, and I feel like I'm waiting for the Dodgers to make this run, and they haven't made the run yet. Obviously, the Giants have been in first place seemingly all season in the American League West, and if you add Max Scherzer to that rotation with Gossman, and wow, you're looking at a pretty dangerous 1-2 punch. And then, of course, if you add him to the Padres, and AJ Preller is beyond all in. And that is incredible if you're a Padres fan. And I just got a tweet notification from Ken Rosenthal that the Dodgers are still in the mix for Max Scherzer. So this is still going for Max Scherzer, and that is incredibly exciting to see where this goes for him, because he's obviously the best pitcher on the market right now. But let's get back to focusing on the Padres. I don't know if the Padres would be all in on Max Scherzer today on July 29th, with the trade deadline looming in less than 24 hours now, if Blake Snell was good this year. I mean, Blake Snell straight up has just been bad across the board. And I don't think they feel a need to go get Max Scherzer or Blake Snell himself. They've got Yu Darvish. He's been really good. Snell's been bad, like I said. But if you're able to get Scherzer and compare that with Yu Darvish, you're looking at a rotation that is maybe the best in the National League, definitely up there with the Dodgers if they were to bring back Bauer, which, again, like that just doesn't seem likely to me at this point with the way that's going and where the reporting is going on that. So I'm really interested to see how that develops. And then if you add Scherzer to the Giants rotation, you're looking at a rotation there that's got, you're looking at a rotation that's got two frontline guys in a postseason series, and you get 2-3 of those guys, and you're going to feel pretty good about your chances in a postseason series. So I think Scherzer going to any of those three teams is incredibly interesting. I do feel like the Giants just aren't as likely, just because I don't see the Giants making that move, if that makes sense. Like, I think the Giants kind of understand that this may be their last, like, hoorah with Brandon Crawford, with Buster Posey, and those guys are putting up historical seasons, and they probably feel a need to, like, go for it. But there's just something about the Giants that just feels like they're not making that move. Now, the Dodgers, I think they make that move. We've seen the Dodgers make that move. When you have the type of roster that I'm getting more tweet notifications from Ken Rosenthal. When you have the roster that the Dodgers have, you kind of just have to be all in as much as you can be for as long as you can be. And when you have the farm system that the Dodgers have, it allows you to be all in for so much longer because you have the depth within your farm system to go trade for a Max Scherzer, even though he is a rental. And then when you're the Padres, AJ Preller is clearly so far in on this Padres experiment and making the Padres a legitimate contender for the World Series. And you have to give a lot of credit to him for it. And it's something that the Padres are in a territory they've never been in before. And what's interesting about the Padres situation is there's been reports of Eric Hosmer being on the trade block. You package him, to a Washington, and he's only got, I think he has less than $60 million left on his contract. So it's not super burden. It's not a hard thing to take on. Maybe that gets Washington a little bit intrigued, and you compare him with Juan Soto. I wouldn't do that if I was the Nationals. You feel like you're really far away, in my opinion, because Schwarber's on the trade block, Turner's on the trade block. I mean, they came out and said this week everyone except Juan Soto is basically available. So if you're the Nationals, I think you kind of got to take the best offer you get, and I feel like that's going to come from either the Dodgers or the Padres. And whichever one of those two teams he ends up with, I'm really excited for, because I think they're going to be a legitimate, contender for a World Series more so than they are now. All right, let's move to the Chicago White Sox while we wait for Tanner here to join me so we can break down the Yankees. Look at the White Sox. Look at them making moves with their crosstown rival, the Chicago Cubs, trading for right-handed reliever Ryan Tepera. Yes, he is an MVP candidate at one point in his career because he did get that one MVP vote last year, and it may or may not have been by accident, may or may not have been a misclick. But we don't need to talk about that. That's a really good move for the for the Chicago White Sox. That's a move that shores up their bullpen, get some help for Liam Hendricks in the back end of that bullpen. Tepera has been someone who's been really good this year for the Cubs, and all joking aside, he's a guy who has been really reliable for the Cubs. He's got a 2.91 ERA in 43 games, over 43 and a third innings pitched. He's got 50 strikeouts and a whip of under 0.8, so that's obviously very attractive. He doesn't walk anyone. He's got just 12 walks on the season to 50 strikeouts. That equates to a 4.17 strikeout to walk ratio, so that's obviously pretty attractive to a White Sox bullpen that really hasn't been as good as they probably would have liked it to have been early this year. And I still think the White Sox should probably go out and try and find a left-handed arm in that bullpen. You have Kopech out there, and you've got Hendricks, and you've got Tepera. That's three really good guys to have at the back end of that bullpen. Of course, Hendricks being your closer, and you've proven with Kopech this year that he's going to be good for you in the 7th or 8th, and that's what Tepera's proven to you all season for the Cubs, and really going back to the last 2 years, he's been great for the Cubs. And then you look at it a little bit more from a White Sox perspective. I think they probably should go get a left-handed arm in that bullpen so you can help and you can kind of get some tools there and kind of get it going, I guess. And I think Bummer needs some help. I think adding him would be really beneficial. So I think you kind of see the White Sox add to the pitching a little bit more in the last several hours of the trade deadline. All right, let's move to the other move that the Chicago White Sox made today. They get second baseman Cesar Hernandez from the Cleveland Indians. I'm not going to call them the Guardians yet. They're not the Guardians just yet. I don't care. Drop your opinions on Guardians in the chat, and I'll put them up here because I do kind of want to see what you guys think about the Guardians and that name. Hernandez is hitting .231 this year. He's got an on-base percentage of .307, and he's got a slugging percentage of .431. I think this move for the White Sox makes a lot of sense. When Nick Madrigal went out, you kind of lost that leadoff hitter. You lost that guy at the top of your lineup that you felt like you were really comfortable with, that you felt like was going to get on base. And obviously, Hernandez isn't that guy. He's not a type of guy who's going to get on base like Nick Madrigal did. However, I do think that adding Hernandez does shore up the infield, and it gets them out of the Trevor Story conversation. And to me, that Trevor Story conversation just never made that much sense to me. I felt like the White Sox were going to have to give up a lot to have him play second base. Of course, Tim Anderson's going to be playing shortstop. And that move just didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's a rental. I don't know. The math wasn't making sense to me on a Trevor Story to the White Sox move. So I'm interested to see what the White Sox keep doing. I see a couple of people in the comments right now. Danny Woodchuck, you're saying that the White Sox can't win the big game. Honestly, you might be right. They've really struggled this season against teams that have records over 500. They're significantly over 500. We saw them lose 2 out of 3 last weekend to the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that's obviously among the premier teams in the National League, up there with those 3 teams in the American League West. I do trust Tony La Russa, though, and I obviously am a huge Cardinal fan, and I probably have too much blind faith in Tony La Russa and the things he can accomplish as a manager. But Tony La Russa has proven a lot in his time as a manager. He's one of the best managers of all time. For my money, he is the greatest manager of all time. And I trust him. Once you kind of get those people in the situation, in the right moves, they're going to be in a good situation. All right, Danny, you're big time against the White Sox, man. You're all in on the Red Sox, going farther than the White Sox in the playoffs. When Tanner joins me, we can get his comments on that. Tanner's a Red Sox fan, so I'll let him comment on that. I actually kind of agree with you. I do think that there's just some magic to this Red Sox team, and I don't know exactly what it is. And you look at the roster, and it doesn't have the stars that they had in those other World Series runs. There's no David Ortiz. There's no Manny Ramirez. There's no Jason Varitek. There's no, I don't know who else you want to throw out there, but Hanley Ramirez, I guess, was on that 2013 team, I think, maybe. You look at this Red Sox team, and there just seems to be a lot of energy around it. And that, to me, is what's really interesting for this Red Sox team. And Kike Hernandez, I think, deserves a lot of credit for that. And I think it would be a bad decision for the Red Sox to not add at the deadline. I think them and the Rays are currently still making moves. Holy cow, we have breaking news on the Sports 2.0 show. Sports 2.0 show, Between the Lines edition. According to Jeff Passan of ESPN, Cleveland manager Terry Francona is stepping aside for the remainder of the season for health reasons. D'Emilio Hale will take over the managing duties for the Indians. That is breaking news. Holy cow, I can't get out of this show without more news breaking. I feel like, holy cow, this is crazy. I don't even know how to react to that. I think Cleveland's maybe decision to trade Hernandez, it clearly shows that they're not all in on this anymore. It clearly shows that they're kind of waving a white flag when they traded Francisco Lindor, when they made the decision to move on from, Hernandez. That 2016 Indians team is just so far in the past. Actually, here comes Tanner. Tanner, we got breaking news on the show. Have you heard about Terry Francona?
I just got the ESPN alert. I got so much breaking news right now. My head's about to explode. I'm on the Sports 2.0 show. We're talking trade deadlines. Anthony Rizzo gets traded. Suddenly our viewers goes from like a lot to a billion because of that. It was pretty cool. Let me read. I got the tweet notification. Cleveland manager Terry Francona is stepping aside for the remainder of the season for health reasons. DeMarlo Hale will take over managing Cleveland. Okay. That's not really that big of news to me, honestly, because they waved the white flag today by giving up the second baseman. My head's about to explode. Cesar Hernandez,
Yeah. I don't know how to react to it. I'm calling him Tito. That we're going. You're the Red Sox guy. You love Terry Francona. You want to gloat for Terry Francona for a second here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with Alex Cora right now. I don't miss him, honestly, but yeah, I think it's interesting to see because I don't know. It probably is health reasons, obviously, like it says, but again, they're not really in the mix at all. So we got to factor that into the equation too. I think this is a playoff team. I think he's going to go get surgery tonight, heart surgery, whatever it is, and get back on the field tomorrow. So
yeah, it's tough for me to break down, like what it is. This is just such an odd Terry Francona thing. I'm so used to seeing him in the dugout chomping his gum that's about 4 sizes too big, and he's just angry. He's going at it. All right, I made the viewers wait long enough.
Who's this Danny Woodchuck guy in the comments? He's got.
I don't know, but I'm a big fan of him. He's all over us. All right. The Yankees are all in. Tanner, you're sitting here in your Red Sox jersey. I hate the Red Sox. We know this. I hate that hat. Is that the 2013 hat?
2018, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
So funny story. I just went on MLBshop.com, bought myself a Kike Hernandez jersey. I'm like going through the clearance section, a little baseball blogger. Got to stay cheap here. $6. $6 for a 2018 World Series hat. Amazing. Love it.
Are you going to be able to get another one this year?
Yeah, of course.
Are you going to be able to
pay retail price for that too?
Are you going to be able to get a division hat this year?
You know what?
The Yankees are making moves, Tanner. They're making moves.
Alec, I did not come on here. Onto Between the Lines. The show I built up from the ground to tell me that the Red Sox are not going to win the division. Here's the thing, Alec. Let's really break it down here. We look at the Yankees. I don't have the exact standings in front of me, but I believe they're 8 games. They could be 9 games back now. I don't know after getting reamed by the Tampa Bay Rays today. We can't forget about that.
10 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah,
they're 9 games back. They're in 3rd place of the division.
And the bottom line is you can add all the left-handed power hitter strikeout machines in the world that you want, but if you can't win with Garrett Cole on the bump, you're not going to do anything. You're 8 games back in the division. You're 3 games back in the wild card, and that was as of yesterday, I believe. So I don't know what happened after today. But come on, stop. Everyone's saying the Yankees, these dudes have not stepped foot on the field in the Bronx. I know everyone's all excited about it, but what happens when the Yankees might not? What happens if the Yankees don't make the playoffs with all these guys? They just gave away their whole freaking AAA roster to get into. I didn't see the deal with I don't know who the Yankees are giving in return for Rizzo, but I believe Luke Voit is included, right?
Who?
I think Luke Voit could be included in that.
No, the deal is 2 prospects, Alcantara and Vizcaino. I don't know if I said that second name correctly, but the Cubs are paying the rest of Anthony Rizzo's salary this year, which is actually exactly what the Rangers are doing for the Joey Gallo trade as well. We can talk about that one as well if you still have time. But to me, I look at this and I
got time for you. Anything, man.
Oh, thank you, Tanner. Wow, that warms my heart. You look at this, man. It's just like you make a good point. If the Yankees don't win with this roster, how? Let's go through. Gary Sanchez, all-star caliber catcher. Anthony Rizzo is an all-star caliber first baseman. DJ LeMahieu was an MVP candidate, 2 years ago?
He's very good, yeah. DJ.
Yeah, Gleyber Torres at shortstop, has perennially underachieved his entire career, but he doesn't need to hit now. And then third base, who's playing third base for them right now?
Who's playing third base? Gio, right?
Yeah, Gio. And then you look at their outfield, and they're going to have a Gold Glover and Gallo out there. They have Judge out there, and they have Stanton DHing. Good Lord, that lineup is as deep as the Dodgers lineup. But they just don't have the pitching. Outside of Garrett Cole, who the hell are you giving the ball to in a playoff game? Be oh, we're going to win this one.
I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if we're as able to say this as Barstool, but domestic abuser Domingo Germán, as Jared Carrabis calls him, you give it to him. You know what? The bottom line is with the Yankees, they have all this power, but we went into the season saying, the Yankees are going to be the best team. They're going to roll through the division. The Red Sox are going to suck. The Rays are going to take a step back. And what has happened? The Yankees have consistently underperformed this year. They've consistently underperformed. So just because you add 2 lefties to the short porch, yeah. Am I scared? Not really. Could they make the division as a wild card? The Red Sox really to fend off the Yankees, for the Rays to fend off the Yankees, they don't have to do that much. 8 games, we have 60 games left. 8 games is a lot to make up in 60 games, unless the Red Sox just stop winning, right?
Well, and 2, the Rays are really good, and the Rays are making moves to help their bullpen, and we Nelly know Cruz. The Rays just Yeah, the Rays just have this like magic way of like winning. Like you look at the roster and like, I've never heard of any of these guys.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? Like how are they in the World Series?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, as we got a comment here, just fire Boone. Is Boone the issue? Every one of my friends who I've talked to with the Yankees, they think Booney is the issue, but I think it could be deeper. I think it could be Brian Cashman. I think it could be time for just a total shakeup at that organization. What do you think?
I kind of agree with you to a point. And like, if this is Brian Cashman's like last hoorah as a Yankees GM, wow, what a way to go out. But like, you just can't have guys, I feel like, be in charge of an organization and personnel decisions for as long as Brian Cashman has. Obviously I'm a huge Cardinal fan, and like John Mozeliak's been in charge of the organization as either the GM or the president of baseball ops since I think 2007, 2006 maybe. Yeah. And it's like, it's just starting to get tired. Like the moves just aren't panning out and whatever. You just need to make movement inside of a front office. And if this is the last move that Cashman makes, or the last like series of moves he makes, wow, like tip of my hat, like that's impressive way to go out, obviously. But like, I think he has to do this. Don't you think, Tanner? Like you look at this roster, you have to go all in.
The bottom line is the Yankees were never going to, if anyone thought that like all these Yankee Twitter, this is what I hate about Yankee fans. First of all, I'm just going to go into a big rant right now, Alec Busse, because I go on Yankees Twitter a week ago. Oh, we're selling. We ain't coming for the wild card. We're selling. The Yankees were never going to sell. The Yankees are not built to sell. The Yankees will never sell. They don't rebuild. The Yankees spend money on players. That's the way it is. It's a big market team. As a Yankee with all his moves, I think this would just make we make the playoffs. We have some thought serious. Alec, read this to me, man. My mind's spinning out of control.
As a Yankee fan with all these moves, I think we would just make the playoffs. We have some tough series ahead, and I hate to say it, but it's either Glaber, but Glaber is not the same now.
Glaber sucks. Okay, you guys hate on Glaber Torres so much, and then he gets like a walk-off hit, and everyone thinks he's great now. You got like Yankees fans are the most like they teeter back and forth. 1 minute we're terrible, and today we get Rizzo and we get Rizzo and Joey Gallo, and it's like we're back. No, you guys have a lot of freaking work to make up. And you know what? The one thing is, if you don't make the playoffs now, Aaron Boone's probably sweating right now. He's sitting, he's sitting at home. He's watching the highlights on ESPN of him getting railed today by the Tampa Bay Rays. He's flying home on the plane. He's flying home on the plane, most likely, obviously. But we look at that. Boone must be like, holy
I have
shit,
all this
man.
Talent. How do I not win?
If I don't make the playoffs, and realistically, if I don't make a push at the division, I'm going to get fired. There's no doubt about it now, because this team should be a playoff team. This team should win the division, but they're so far back, they're not, because 8 games is a lot of work to make up in the amount. 8 games is a lot of work to make up if we start on April 1st. Realistically, 8 games is a lot starting on April 1st. How are you going to do it in 60 games?
It's also incredible to me too, because like, I don't know if the Yankees are done. Like, do they go get involved with like, I guess they've been tied to Berrios today, but like that would be a great move for them to add a starting pitcher, because they clearly need it. But like, I don't think they're getting in on the Max Scherzer thing. I think Max Scherzer is in too deep with the Padres and the Dodgers and the Giants right now. Like, I think the Yankees can do it. They're the Yankees. Like, they have a great farm system. They have the best farm system record of all of their teams in Major League Baseball by a long shot. I think the Rays are the only ones in the same conversation. It's like, they have the depth in their farm system to do it. But I just don't see them getting enough pitching to go and win this division. And their bullpen's not even that good. Like, their bullpen is not as good as it was a couple years ago.
We're at Fenway Park this week, and I did not go to the game, but I'm walking around Fenway. I just, hanging out, I went to the bars, watched the game on TV, but I'm walking around Fenway, and I can hear it from the bars this weekend. I can hear outside, "We want Chapman. We want Chapman. We want Chapman to come in the game." That's how bad the Yankees bullpen is. We want an all-star closer to come pitch against us because we know we're going to win the game. And you know what? If Kike Hernandez gets one single, if that single he got earlier in the game that didn't mean a thing, if he hit that single at the end of the game, we win by a run there and we sweep the Yankees again. They have so much work to make up, Alec Busse.
Yeah.
I haven't gone on Yankees Twitter tonight, but when I go on Yankees Twitter and I'm reading all this stuff about how you're going to get two kind of fans. You're going to get our guys like Danny Woodchuck, who's a realist here and saying we make the playoffs, but we're probably not going to do anything and we got to fire Booney. Then you're going to get the guys who I was just on a show with named Aaron. It's all about the U of Booty. And my other guy, Vincent Graziano, they're saying, oh, we're back. We're back. Oh, I'm so happy. We're back. I could give a shit about. Did I want Anthony Rizzo for the Boston Red Sox? Yes, I did.
But you drafted him.
I know, but I wanted him back. I really wanted him back. And we talk about
you shouldn't let the GM walk and go to the team in the NL Central.
You know why he walked? Because they gave him more money. That's why he walked.
He wanted a new challenge.
Yeah, you know what? He wanted money. That's why he wanted money. He's not a true patriot.
I'm sorry. I hate Theo Epstein, by the way, just so you know.
Theo's like, what's he? He's like a Major League Baseball advisor now. Like,
yeah, he's like kind of like the spearhead behind like the shift rules, like the 3-batter minimum thing right now.
Yeah,
the extra inning rules. Like, get out of the league. Go be the GM for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. So we're talking about pitching. We need to talk about pitching. The Yankees. So I'm just going off on random tangents tonight because I'm so passionate about this, thinking like Yankee fans are stupid. Why? Why do you you're not? Yes, this is great. If you're a Yankees fan, this is the best possible thing that you can have. Or you know what, Alec Busse, I'm going to throw you a little scenario here. Sorry, I'm taking over your show.
No, go for it. I wanted you on. I texted you. I was like, come on the show. I need the AL East perspective.
I got a scenario for you. What happens if the Yankees just continue to suck with these two right away and they go back 10 games. Let's say these, because who they got this weekend? Let's be realistic. These guys are gonna make their debut tomorrow. So the Yankees are playing against the Marlins. Okay, they're going to Miami. This is a series they should sweep with this team, realistically.
At least take 2 out of 3, yeah.
Yeah, at least take 2 out of 3. What happens if they go in and they just lose their first week? I don't know. They go 2-5 in their first week and they drop back to 10 games.
Okay, so they've got 3 against the Marlins this weekend. They then have 3 against the Orioles in New York, and then they have 4 against the Mariners.
Okay, so realistically, that's what's that? So that's 7, that's 10 games. You got to go 8-2.
Yeah, well, and then after that, they have 3 against the Royals in Kansas City before 3 against the White Sox.
This could be a statement for them. They could show up. They could make a statement when you look at their schedule. But what happens if they don't? That's my question. What happens if we get Garrett Cole giving up 1 million runs today and them getting blown off the field? I know we don't have the lefties and the short porch and all this, lefty short porch. But if they don't win right away, it's not going to be good for this team because they just gave away a lot to get it. Yep, Danny Woodchuck, man, you're a realist. I love you. I hate Yankee fans, but I love you.
Well, I think, and this is what I was telling my Cubs friends because I have way too many of those people in my life. With this Anthony Rizzo move, it takes perspective at the trade deadline. And I'm speaking from a Cubs perspective now, but you can apply this to the Yankees, okay? The Cubs trading Anthony Rizzo, I never would have traded him of those guys on the roster because he lived through those 100-loss seasons. He's a captain. He was kind of the hero of it all. He's a fan favorite, blah, yada, 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 whatever. But you also have to realize you got back 2 players who are in the top 11 of the Yankees Fangraphs farm system. So that's a good return. You also realize you're not winning anything with this roster, at least the rest of this year. 3, Anthony Rizzo loves being a Chicago Cub. You can just re-sign him at the end of the year. I mean, Chris Bryant's already hinted that, hey, I'm going to be a free agent. I'm interested in coming back here potentially. Anthony Rizzo is totally going to be in the same situation. 4, you're getting your future if you're the Cubs. Now, on the Yankees side of things, you need to have perspective. Your lineup just got better. You got a first baseman, and you improved your outfield with these 2 additions in Rizzo and Gallo. But you still don't have pitching. And pitching is always, and I'm not trying to be cliche here, pitching is always, 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 always the most important thing to winning in baseball. I don't care how good your offense is. Good pitching beats good hitting 7 days out of the week and twice on Sunday. Yeah. Especially in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the Yankees don't have it. Behind Garrett Cole, they have nothing.
And Garrett Cole needs to go undefeated. Really, today, this is a game
that every fifth day.
Win. It's a game. And you look at this. If we lost 1 ahead of the series, this could be the ending of the season. I'm going to throw something at Yankee fans right now. We talk about Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo loves Chicago. He loves playing Chicago. He's probably not. He's with a contender. I don't know. Aaron Judge hasn't played in 10 days. So that's not going to be good for him going to Miami. Giancarlo Stanton looks like he's blind at the plate. He doesn't look like he's ever seen a baseball.
What an awful contract that is. Is that the worst contract in baseball?
Yes, it's the worst contract in baseball. But again, if he was hitting, it wouldn't be the worst contract in baseball.
Yeah, and if I was married with 4 kids, I'd be a father.
Yeah, Alec Busse. I didn't know Alec Busse was out in the town with the ladies all the time.
I'm just saying in general, like if I was hitting, I'd be in the major leagues too.
Yeah, but I don't think we can say that in the sense of, yeah, it's a terrible contract, because in the moment, I guess like for what he was doing, it was what he was worth, maybe a lot more. But right now he's just like, the bottom line is he looks so bad at the plate.
Yeah.
He does not look like, I watched him this weekend. I said this on the other show, I wanted him to come up with the game on the line every time. And I believe he did, but it's like, he's not going to deliver. Yeah. And when he does hit the ball, it goes really far. Yay. But it's all about moving, running. Look at what the Red Sox did this weekend. They played freaking small ball. They put the ball in play. They moved runners over. That's how you come back by 4 runs or whatever in the 8th inning. That's how you do it. You don't do it with the long ball, because the long ball doesn't happen enough to make that happen.
No, you're exactly right. And that to me is like, there's a very clear, style to baseball, and it's all in, it's strikeout, walk, home run. It's the 3 outcomes. The teams that aren't super reliant on that have been really good this year, Tanner. Yep. Like the Red Sox don't have like a lot of guys in their lineup you look at and like, okay, that guy can hit a home run every single time. I mean, like JD Martinez is obviously at the top of that list, but like, even the Giants have had guys hit a lot of home runs this year, but like they really manufacture a lot of their runs. You look at the White Sox, and I know they're playing a terrible division, but like they've manufactured a lot of runs without Robert and Eloy in their lineup for most of the year. Like those are 2 of their 3 best power hitters. You look at the Milwaukee Brewers, like Christian Yelich has been terrible this year. Like he hasn't hit at all. They manufacture runs, and that offense is awful, but like they're winning games. Yeah. And the Yankees don't manufacture runs because they have all these guys who just swing for home runs every time.
Yeah, and I gotta pull up something here. But like you said, it's all about playing small ball. It's all about putting the home run. Yeah, it's great. We love the home run here. All right, I'm pulling up the Red Sox lineup.
It's about the balance. You have to have an effective balance, and the Yankees just don't have the balance. Like, yeah, there's not a soft spot in that lineup where you can't miss in that lineup and expect a pitch to not be in the bleachers. That's fair. That's accurate. But at the same time, like you also have to kind of understand, like you have to have guys who are just going to get on base, because would you rather have 2 doubles in a row, or would you rather have a home run and a ground ball to the shortstop? You know what I mean? Like 2 doubles is better than a home run.
Here's the thing. The Yankees don't play the game the way it's meant to be played, in the sense of putting the ball in play. We look at the Red Sox lineup when we look at the Yankees lineup. Who's a better lineup? Yankees. 100%. Who has a better pitching staff?
The Red Sox.
Yankees going into the season. 100%.
Sure, yeah. Yes. Right now it's the Red Sox. Dude, Tanner Houck coming up is an electric factory.
No, I know he's an electric factory, but I'm just saying, Alec Busse, when we look at the Red Sox pitching, it's not pitching like the White Sox, where it's like, okay, we're going to have really good outings every time. We got G Money freaking Garrett Richards in the rotation. We got Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi's the ace. And I love Nathan Eovaldi, but he's not necessarily an ace when you have a guy like Chris Sale. Now, hopefully we get Chris Sale back, whatever. But I want to read you the Red Sox lineup right now. And you tell me how the hell this team is 8 games ahead of the New York Yankees. Kike Hernandez. You got I'm just going to go through them all. Kike Hernandez, Jarren Duran, absolute electric factory. Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, Hunter Renfroe, Alex Verdugo, Christian Vasquez, Bobby Dalbec, Frenchie Cordero, Eduardo Rodriguez he's pitching tonight, Michael Chavis, Rafi Devers, Kevin Plawecki. Like we got this team is not a team that's meant to be 8 games ahead of the New York Yankees. But why are they? Because they put the ball in play. They play as a team. They don't rely on the long ball, and they play together. And that's something the Yankees don't do.
Yeah, and you look at this Red Sox lineup, and I don't want people to think that. At least I don't think you're saying the Red Sox lineup sucks, because it doesn't.
No, but let me clarify.
It's far from bad.
I'm a massive Red Sox fan. I'm not saying the Red Sox lineup sucks. I'm just saying when I look at the lineup. Let me Alec Busse. This is my show. Let me finish this. This is my show on Monday nights. Let me finish this because I don't want to get hate mail from Red Sox fans. When I look at the Red Sox, yes, I love this lineup. I love this team. Like, this team gets me going because you know what? They do everything right. They put the ball in play. But when is it a lineup like the Orioles? No, but it's not the Yankees when you look at it power wise. But you know what they do? They play the game the right way. They put it in play. They hit the ball. They move runners over. They steal bases. They do it all. And the Yankees don't do that. We got it right here. The problem is that we have bomb players that 70% of their at-bats are groundouts and 1 of 6 is a home run. And that doesn't win games. That looks good in the preseason. That looks really good in the preseason. We're going to get 40 home runs from Aaron Judge, and we're going to get another 40 from Giancarlo, and it's freaking Disneyland. But the thing is, that does not translate to wins all the time, especially when you underperform. Now you can go ahead, Alec Busse. Remember, this is my show.
Well, I was just going to say with the Red Sox lineup, like, Kike Hernandez is a really good player. Xander Bogaerts is a really good player. JD Martinez is a really good bat in that lineup. Hunter Renfroe is someone you trust to at least get on base. Alex Verdugo is an absolute electric factory. And Rafi Devers has been, the best third baseman in the American League all year? Like, yeah. That's a very well-constructed lineup, which is what you're saying. And to me, like, it's going to come down now to – and exactly, Danny. And the reason they struggle to score with guys on base is because they don't have guys who get on base. They have guys who slug. They don't have guys who get on base at a high rate, and that's the biggest problem that the Yankees have in their lineup. Anyway, Tanner, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do the Yankees make the playoffs as a wild card at all this year? Because I think there's still legitimate concerns.
There's definitely legitimate concerns. I have to say yes right now because of who they sign, but there's really legitimate concerns. You look at Tampa Bay and Boston, one of those teams is going to take the wild card, one's going to win the division. So you're competing for one wild card spot right there. The next one is Oakland. Oakland's 3 games up on the Yankees in the wild card, I believe. And I think the Mariners had the Yankees in the wild card? No, right?
I'm pulling it up right now. I don't think they are, but they are. It's actually right now. It's the Rays are 4 games up. It's the Oakland Athletics. Seattle Mariners are 2 games back of the A's, and the Yankees are 3 games back of the Oakland Athletics, just a game behind the Seattle Mariners and a game and a half up on the Toronto Blue Jays. And
I'm going to answer the next question after this, but yes, I think the Yankees do get in. You have to say the Yankees get in, right? Like, there's no other option. But we look at what Oakland did. Oakland's made some noise in the past few days. They are saying we're here to win. Are they going to catch the Houston Astros? Hell no, they're not. But are they going to win a wild card? They're 3 games up on the Yankees. Like, I know 3 games isn't a lot. 3 games can be done after one season, right? 3 games can be done. 3 games can be done in one weekend. Let me put it that way. But here's the thing. We don't have a lot of time left. When you really think about it, the Yankees need to be perfect. The Yankees need to be perfect. And I think they do make the playoffs. I think they do edge Oakland. But Oakland is a team that's notorious for making the playoffs and losing in the first round. So I could go with them too.
I think I would probably bet the Yankees to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
But only because I trust that lineup. They're going to overtake the Mariners. Like, I'm sorry. And if there's any Mariners viewers out here, I'm sorry.
They shouldn't even be there. Shouldn't even be there.
One, you're overperforming. 2, you just traded your best reliever. And Jerry Dipoto, I literally wrote this week, Jerry Dipoto is an absolute idiot. Like, the guy, you can't trade the guy to the team you just lost the night before, and you're chasing them, and you're in the same division, and then come say that night, like, this is the first move in a series of moves you're gonna understand it. Dude, shut up. Shut up. You cannot trade your best reliever. Your bullpen and your pitching staff is the only reason you're even remotely close to having a chance to go to the playoffs, because you have the worst offense in Major League Baseball. And it's not even close. Like, it's hard to watch bad. No one in that lineup is worth half a damn with a bat in their hand. So, like, you can't make that trade. And, like, I wrote about how Whit Merrifield would be a good fit there. That ain't going to happen. Like, not a chance that happens. Like, and then he's going and talking about how the third baseman they got is, like, a focus of every conversation in the minor leagues. Then why the hell is he hitting under 220?
Yeah. Alec Busse, it's not even worth talking about the Mariners because they're not going to be there.
Yeah. You know? So the Yankees should overtake them. I think the Rays are a lock to make the playoffs, and that goes back to what I said earlier. The Rays just find a way to win.
Rays and Red Sox, they're a lock. So you have one wild card spot.
It's going to come down to, and let's be honest, Tanner, we kind of always say the Rays win. So do the Oakland Athletics. Like, they just kind of seem to put things together effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. I listen, I'm going to say it right now. The Bronx almost burned down during COVID, or Manhattan or whatever, but it will fully burn to the ground if the New York Yankees do not get in with the amount of talent they signed here. We got to go through these comments. We got some good ones here. So it starts with this. This is like a whole, no, go to the top one right there. All right. Wait, they're picking on Alex Cora. If they're picking on Alex Cora, I'm going to start picking on Garrett Cole. Well, I don't know how the 2020 Red Sox went from the worst team in baseball, lost a lot of good players, and magically 2020 became the best team. I don't know if it's stealing signs or just luck. If you think it's stealing signs, you're stupid. Danny Woodchuck.
But the Red Sox seem to do it a lot, and I hate the Red Sox, so I'm on your side.
That's fine. Alex Cora was suspended in 2020. Now he's back in 2021. Red Sox are better coach under Cora. Yes, they are. Good point. Yeah, but why was he suspended? Because he wasn't suspended. He got fired. Right?
He was suspended.
Cora, he got fired.
No, he was suspended for a year.
He got fired.
Him, AJ Hinch were suspended for a year, and what's his face?
Sign stealing scandal. Yankee, he got fired.
Now
he got removed from the Red Sox with the intention of bringing him back. Yankees have talent to
absolutely.
Yeah, they do have the talent to beat Red Sox, but they don't do it. All right, Dodgers have a package. It's up to Mac. We're not talking about the Dodgers. We care less.
I already talked about that one.
Dodgers are now and they're going in Dodgers. Suspended, bro. Okay, yes. Okay, so he got suspended. You know what, though? We can suspend whoever we want. We can suspend Alex Cora, but you know what? Alex Cora is still an electric factory that is a better manager than Aaron Boone. And you know what? I blame AJ Hinch. I don't blame Alex. Alex Cora is my manager. That's my manager. I don't blame.
Shut up.
That's my manager. Okay.
Shut up right now. Shut up right now.
What about Garrett Cole, Yankee fan? This is why I hate Yankee fans.
Shut up. I know you read all of that stuff. Shut up.
My manager.
Alex Cora was the guy who put it all together.
Alex Cora was not associated. He did not get
Alex Cora designed it.
No, this is what happened. The Red Sox said, we're going to separate ourselves from a year, kind of distance it. He did not get suspended. He went to spend a year with his kid.
He was suspended.
He didn't have anything to do
with the Yankees.
He didn't have anything to do with the sign stealing scandal.
He's great at managing a team.
He didn't have anything to do. You know what? It's just like the Yankee fans. They think they beat us in a 6-inning Little League World Series game. The Red Sox did not lose that game. It's just like Alex Cora did not have anything to do with the sign stealing scandal. He's a Red Sox for life. He didn't even coach for the Astros. He's my manager.
He was their bench coach.
I don't know. Stop.
He was the guy who formulated the trash can.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Get on the Athletic right now and read Ken Rosenthal's story.
I don't care about little pipsqueak Ken Rosenthal. Okay, Alex Cora is my manager. Alex Cora never coached for the Houston Astros. He is only coach. He is a Red Sox.
What are you talking about? He was their bench coach.
This is 2021. That's my manager. It's 2021. That's all I care about.
Their manager, sure. He was their bench coach.
He's a World Series champion. That's what you're talking. That's how Alex Cora is. He's a champion, unlike Aaron Boone.
Hey, you hate Aaron Boone for more reasons than many people know. How old were you when he hit the home run?
Let me think.
That was 2003.
I don't want to give my age away on here. 15.
You were 15? Okay, that's fair.
I could care. It's 2021. I don't care about Aaron Boone hitting a home run to send the Red Sox home. I could care less, honestly. Okay? This is what I care about.
San Diego. Was that 2003?
What?
That was 2003, wasn't it? Yeah.
It wasn't 04 because they won.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about 2004, Tanner. We're not talking about 2004.
When Boone hit home run, it was 09? No.
It was definitely not 2009.
It was not 2009.
It was not 2009.
2009. All right. Anyways,
it was 2003. It was 2003.
We got it. What's our final thoughts? We got to start wrapping the show up.
Yeah, we do. I got to start preparing for the NBA draft.
Yeah.
I think the Yankees are all in, and I respect Brian Cashman for making these moves, and I do think it was a very good decision to go make these moves. And I don't think he's done, to be quite honest with you, Tanner. I do think he's going to go make a move for a starting pitcher or two and make a move to shore up that bullpen. Is it going to be enough to get him over the Rays and the Red Sox? I don't think so. But it just matters if you get in the playoffs, because once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah, Yankees versus Rays in a one-game wild card series, and then watching the Rays send them home would be very satisfying to me. So I'm cool with that. Whatever we want, just Yankees fans, guys, please calm down, because these guys haven't played a game yet. Just keep that in mind. You got to beat the Marlins. That's all you're focused on.
Before we get out of here, Tanner, seeing Anthony Rizzo in a Yankees uniform is going to be so weird.
I don't think so. Because he wore pinstripes in Chicago. He's going to look like an idiot there. He's going to look like an idiot here. You know what? He should be in the red, white, and blue of the American Patriot Boston Red Sox 2021 World Series champions led by Alex Cora, who was never associated in a sign stealing scandal. That's who Rizzo should be for. But he's a Yankee.
You should ask him about the Apple Watches next time you're in Fenway too. Did you just not read that entire?
I'll be there in 2 weeks. I don't know who they're playing, but I was going to buy tickets for the September game when they play the Yankees, but again, it's not going to mean anything because the Yankees aren't going to be in the playoffs. I said it.
So you're just going to save your money for playoff tickets?
Yeah, you got to. Holy shit, they're $1,000 a seat. I mean, come on.
Way too much.
I've been to one playoff game in my life. It was actually at Yankee Stadium in 2018 or 2017 when Alex Cora was not associated with the scandal.
Okay.
And I watched the Astros beat them, and it was pretty fun to watch. And I did not wear any Yankees gear. I actually wore a Yankee shirt because I didn't want to get beer thrown on me, but secretly on the inside, I was cheering for the Houston Astros. I did. Yeah. I went to Yankee Stadium. I wore a Yankee shirt.
A lot of respect for you.
No.
You know what I tweeted today?
What?
You know what I tweeted today after Anthony Rizzo got? I'm not going to go and find it on Twitter. I tweet one of my favorite activities is to watch Cubs Twitter burn. And it's burning, Tanner. It's real burning. I
Yankees
tweeted that, and I used a funny GIF of some animal eating popcorn.
Do you say GIF? It's not peanut butter. It's GIF.
Oh, I say GIF. It's GIF. Anyway, we got to get out of here. We got NBA draft stuff to talk about. Tanner, thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about all things MLB trade deadline tomorrow. Yeah, tip your cap.
3:30.
Crystal.
3:30.
Or Derek Jeter's nephew, whoever it was. Tip your cap like him too. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow's show. We're going to be able to bring it all down. All the trades will be in the books by that point because the trade's going to be over. The trade deadline will have passed. And we're gonna say winners, losers. We're going to say maybe any major changes too. So we'll make sure to talk about that. But thank you guys for watching this edition of Inside the Arc of, not Inside the Arc. That's my podcast. Between the Lines. My bad. Make sure you subscribe to the Sports 2.0 Network. Give Tanner a follow on Twitter, of course. Give me a follow on Twitter. And make sure you get in Twitter. Make sure you get in Tanner's mentions about Alex Cora being involved with the Astros cheating scandal.
That's my manager. That's my manager right there.
We're gonna get out of here. Thanks you guys for watching, and we're gonna be back tomorrow with more MLB trade deadline stuff.